in terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines.
Who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Welcome to another edition of Trends on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in Nigeria and, of course, across the globe. My name is Omotola Adeleke. I have here with me Mr. Shadrach Oka. Mr. Shadrach, it's been a while. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. We also have Mr. Chidi here with us. Mr. Chidi, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
All right. Esther is also right here with us. Esther, hope you're good.
I'm very fine, thank you.
All right. So don't forget, you can be a part of our growing online community by hitting that follow, like, share, and subscribe button right now on all platforms at LJE News. Let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition of Trends. Senate revises Electoral Act, allows electronic result transmission under conditions. Electoral Act U-turn. Okonkwo accuses Akpabio Senate of duping Nigerians. El-Rufai, my support for Tinubu was political, not personal. Fubara hails Wiki after Rivers reconciliation. Heavy security as Nenadi Usman takes over Labour Party Secretariat. Nigeria ranked 36th most corrupt country again. Transparency International. And also, US deploys 200 troops to train Nigerian military. Now the details. The Senate on Tuesday reversed its earlier rejection of mandatory electronic transmission of election results from polling units to INEC's IREV portal. The upper chamber re-amended the Electoral Act to allow electronic result transmission, but with a condition. In the event of internet failure, Form EC8A will serve as the official means of collating results. The provision stops short of making electronic transmission compulsory. The motion, moved by Senate Chief Whip Tahiru Mungono and seconded by Minority Leader Abamoro, was approved by voice vote. Senate President Godswill Akpabio confirmed the change, acknowledging that the previous amendment lacked clarity on result transmission, aligning the law with public expectations. Also, Kenneth Okonkwo, ADC member, has criticized the Senate for amending the Electoral Act, accusing it of undermining Nigerians' democracy. In a statement on X titled "Nigerians are duped by the Senate," he opposed Section 60's amendment allowing electronic transmission of results but permitting manual collation where transmission fails. Okonkwo specifically condemned Senator Mohammed Mungono's proposal that Form EC8A may be used if electronic transmission is impossible, calling it a loophole that legitimizes technical failures. What Nigerians want is that electronic transmission is mandatory, and anytime it is impossible to transmit election result electronically from the polling unit, the election should be void and cancelled, and another election scheduled for another day. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Chidi. You know, this issue, this election and electronic transmission of election results is still in the front burner. It's still a thing of concern. Now, with the latest on board, what is the difference between not mandatory and mandatory, but with an alternative of our old style? What is the difference?
The difference is very clear. You know, it's like what you have in the English Premier League. You know, because of the corruption in the system, you know, FIFA has come to say, look, we need to have VAR. VAR is video assistant referee, you know, which is to curb corruption, which is to encourage the integrity of the game. And we've seen how VAR has helped the integrity of football over the years and currently, you know. So INEC, the provision that was given, you know, to say, look, you have a provision that allows INEC to determine what he wants to do. You know, that's exactly what INEC, what the senators are running away from, trying to, they don't want the people to hold them account, because what it does, the electronic transmission of results, what it does is that it is the VAR of election. The electronic transmission of results, real time, is the VAR of election. So what it means
okay,
is
now
that...
let me rephrase it this way. The Senate's rejection of the one that was done before and was rejected. Is there a difference between the one that was rejected and this one that was just approved?
There is no difference. The only thing that you just did is they just gave us option A and option B. Initially, the provision they gave, which is mandatory for us to have this done, for us to have an election where the umpire will have the discretion to determine what he wants to do. It's still the same thing. There is no difference. There absolutely no difference. In law, no difference. What should happen is that we should stick on to a system where it gives integrity of our election, and which is to say there must be compulsory transmission of electronically, simultaneously, of results. And when we talk about transmission, this is what transmission of results, because I have to explain it so that people understand.
Okay.
When we say electronic transmission of results, what we are saying, what the law is saying, what people are saying is that there's a form called Form EC8A. So when you go to vote, right, after voting, they will accredit you.
Of course.
And accreditation is done using the beavers.
The beavers.
Exactly. So when you get accredited, you vote. After voting, then they'll begin to count who won, and the observers, the party reps will sign. The INEC official will sign. The police will sign. And that is what makes up the Form EC8A, is the totality of the result of a polling unit. Do you understand? That polling unit, that polling station, that result, what they are saying initially, what used to be the case is that result, they will carry that result and transit that result to the general. That's where the corruption happens. But we are not saying, what we are saying is that result should be snapped, just like we have it in INEC regulation 2022. It should be snapped and uploaded after the winners or the losers have been made public.
So are we taking away the real-time thing right now? Because if it's real-time, real-time is probably someone is voting right now and it's uploaded online now.
That's not what we are saying. No,
okay.
That's not the real-time we're talking about is after the votes. You understand now?
Then the total
exactly. Okay. As soon as from EC8A, look, real time does not remove from EC. If from EC8A is that form that announces who wins the election, it is the form for which declares anybody winner in any polling unit, because election is counted from the polling unit to the ward level to the So from that polling unit, that from EC8A needs to be snapped. We will capture it.
All right.
And after capturing it, we send it to the IREV. That is the real time we're talking about. So you understand the concept of the real time.
All right. And this is the way some people would want to understand real time. Let me ask Mr. Shedrack this one. Real time to some individuals, because I've been able to ask some questions, especially amongst people around me. They thought real time is this: you're voting right now as an individual, and it's being uploaded in real time, in quotes, as an individual, and it's going in. People are seeing the vote online. 1, 2, 3. I don't know, Mr. Shedrack.
Yes, if you want to define that terminology, that is what it will translate into. That everything is automated. As you are thumbprinting, it is collating automatically. That is actually the real word. But I don't like us when we try to define those things by that is not what we mean as Nigerian, because at the moment our voting system is not
you don't think it's possible to have that kind of technology?
Of course we have those technologies, but we have not graduated into adopting them. We want diaspora voting. That is where all of those things will count, so that anywhere you are, as you are voting, it is collating automatically. But of course we are not yet with this kind of people. I liken the system to be a farmer that keep herds, visited a king and accept a lion for a pet, and the next day he comes crying that the sheep are not complete. That's what Nigerians do. We know the type of people we elected in the National Assembly. They have shown for every reason that they are not to be trusted, that there are people who have robbed Nigerians. They presented themselves as criminals, because that is what it is. I said I chose my word deliberate. When I say criminal, it means that we are deceptive. You came about carrying taxpayers' money, go countrywide, gather people, and collated what the people want. Number one, the concept of the National Assembly is supposed to be representing the people. You are not there to pass law that you want. It is what the people want that you will now put forward. So Nigerians went round town with taxpayers' money. I mean, the members of National Assembly, civil society, media, and whatever. Then they came up and the people said, what we want is this. It is very shameful that the number one man in the National Assembly will come up and say, this does not represent what, it is not what you want, Mr. Man. It is what the people want. And so trying to put an option to it is more criminal. All right. I'm telling you, it is, for me, the civil society should keep on pressing for what they want without apologies, because we pay them. We ask them to represent us. So it is what we want that you should transmit. When the British were negotiating Brexit, the Prime Minister then came along, was not in sync with it. He does not support the idea. The people say we want. He said, no, I don't want Brexit. What did he do? He turned up his resignation because he does not, want Brexit. But the people's choice must stand, and he went out. So if Akpabio does not want what the people want, let him turn in the toilet and resign.
All right. We talked about this yesterday, Esther. We talked about if the Senate president should resign and all that. And I remember you made mention of the fact that, yes, he should be impeached. Yes. That was what you said. But moving away from that quickly, Kenneth Okonkwo just said that Senator Akpabio, the Senate president, and the Senate in general have duped Nigerians. Do you think that's true, or you disagree with that assertion?
I totally agree with him. He's robbing us of our rights as Nigerians. This is a democratic nation. And just like Mr. Chidrak already mentioned, you're there to represent the people and not enforce laws on us. Now, even if you're enforcing those laws on Nigerians, they are disagreeing with that. Everybody is coming out day after day. People go to the National Assembly to kick against these laws that is coming out. All we need, we're not trying to sabotage whatever they are doing. All we just need is the real-time election. So I totally agree with Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo for saying what he said.
That we've been duped.
We have,
before we go on to the next story, Mr. Chidi, the turnout for the protest, day one, happened a day before yesterday. The day two happened yesterday, but the turnout, I was there, especially for day one. The turnout was low. It was discouraging. As a matter of fact, most of the individuals that I met there are organizers and leaders of the protest. Aside Peter Obi, who was there on the first day, and then Rotimi Amechi, the former Minister of Transportation, and his son, who was there yesterday. But the turnout is low. Do you think Nigerians have been lackadaisical about the situation?
No, I will tell you that how protests work, people are willing to protest, but all over the world, protests are the logistics aspect of protests. You need to understand that they are huge. There are those who really want to come out sincerely, but they cannot. So we need the opposition. We have to appreciate His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. Very, very, very important. He was the main opposition leader that was there on the first day. Aisha Yusuf and co. And then we have Abishi coming in the second day. The people should observe what is going on. Nigerians should observe. The whole world should observe what is going on. For those who claim to be in the opposition, for those who claim to have the interests of Nigerians at heart, this is when to show action. This is when to show, in quote, workings.
Okay.
The likes of Atiku should come out. Yes, he spoke the other day, but it's not enough. We need him to come out. He said also that the opposition should come and organize themselves. He should come out. The people should, well-meaning Nigerians, the opposition should organize. They should copy from the APC when they were in the opposition. So it's very, very important.
All right.
And it's a shame for those who are in the ADC. I hope they are watching. Those who vote for the primaries, I hope they are watching.
All right.
Those who never cares about, because if they enter, they'll be worse than Tinubu.
All right.
They'll be worse than Tinubu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chidi. Still talking about some members of the opposition. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has said he was never friends with President Bola Tinubu, stressing that his support for him in the 2023 election was purely political. Speaking on Trust TV on Monday, El-Rufai said assumptions of a personal bond were false, noting that his backing followed party arrangement and consultations with Islamic stakeholders from the Southwest. He explained that the APC had an understanding for power to shift to the south after President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, describing Tinubu as an accidental beneficiary of that particular process. El-Rufai said once Tinubu emerged as APC candidate, he committed fully out of party loyalty. However, he reviewed post-election differences rooted in governance philosophy, saying their values and approach to public service sharply diverge. Let's listen to El-Rufai.
Of mine that I fight for the candidate of my party in every election to win, whether I like the candidate or not. It's not whether I like Tinubu or not. The fact that he emerged as the candidate of the party, for me, I would give everything to ensure that he won. And that's what I did.
All right. So that is Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Mr. Shedrack, Malam Nasir El-Rufai didn't just stop at, saying he doesn't have any close relationship with President Bola Tinubu, that whatever they had was out of party loyalty and all that. At the same time, he did come out for the protest. They want he's a member of the African Democratic Congress, of course. So he gave he gave an excuse. He said he's not in the country. But that's not even what I want to ask you right now. Someone like Nasir El-Rufai, he was former Kaduna State Governor. And when he was the governor at that time, there were controversies surrounding him. There were a lot of people who had come out to bash him left, right, and all that because of the way he governed Kaduna State. Do you think Nigerians should listen to a man like this? Do you think we should do away with the messenger and just take the message?
Well, even the devil can always be right at some points when he frowns at the blessings of God upon certain people. So people like El-Rufai, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. People are not perfect. In governance in Kaduna State, or as Minister of FCT, he has his good moments, and he also had backlash. I particularly have criticized him over certain policies that he adopted in Kaduna State. That is not to say that will not listen to him when he speaks. An authority. He's somebody who is assured. He has a right to his opinions, especially when he expresses those opinions on Tinubu. I totally agree with him. You don't need to like or hate someone before you align with him on certain principles. That's why I keep warning the people that people who don't vote Tinubu, it is not because of hatred. It is because of preference over another candidate's superiority of ideas over him. So don't bedevil somebody who come against Tinubu for one reason or the other. And let me correct an opinion here also. People feel that the turnout for the protest was very low. Not at all. It is strategic. We don't want people to begin to say P2B instigated people and all of that. There was no protest in Lagos when they voted against the Jagaban of Lagos. There was no protest. You see, the fact that people the whole Nigeria did not gather National Assembly does not show that we are not. Nigerians are dissatisfied with these people, but it is strategic. Not with people who don't care. People who carry rifle, they turn their bitterness and hunger and anger against the people. So if you had seen thousands of people thrown out in the National Assembly, what would have come? But I can promise you, if they continue to toe the line, if they did not reverse that decision yesterday, today there wouldn't have been any sitting. Because you can see people have already started citing what happened in Nepal, citing what happened in Kenya, that they occupied. It would have happened. But I'm daring the National Assembly to go ahead and continue to promote anti-people's policy. That's what you are looking for. They will certainly find.
So is this the end of the protest?
It is not the end. We have to go back and sit back and study what is available to us, and then of course we will always engage, including possibility of shifting the election if care is not taken. Because we will not allow them to have their way.
In the wake of Sunday night reconciliation meeting brokered by President Bola Tinubu between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, Fubara described his predecessor as a man of very big ambition. Speaking during an inspection of the Ring Road project on Tuesday, he credited Wike as the originator of the landmark infrastructure. Meanwhile, Wike expressed optimism that the prolonged political crisis in Rivers State is nearing resolution following Tinubu's intervention. He said, by the grace of God, this will be the last time the president will be involved and the Rivers people will no longer witness such discord. Mr. Chidi, do you think at this point Nigerians should just be tired of the back and forth of Wike and Siminalayi Fubara? Today they are quarreling, tomorrow they are together, they're singing praises to each other. I mean, what's going on?
It tells you of the rascality in our politics and the shamelessness of those who claim to be our leaders. You know, you cannot have that kind of situation in a sane country, and those two persons will still be relevant in the public space. You know, I said it before earlier here that Wike is more of the governor of Rivers State than the FCT minister. You know, and then he is more of an anti-developmental agent than a progressive. You know, and Tinubu needs to know when the president is important to know when to do away with Wike, because Wike is one of the characteristics of a failed Nigeria. If you look at what happened in Rivers State, and then it doesn't tell well of the people. For me, it's also a strategy by the leading APC, you know, the party, to distract the people from the issues that be. And I will tell you, including the issue of transmission of results, there are also tactics of the APC to distract people from holding government accountable.
So you're saying the rift between Siminalayi Fubara and Wike is a strategy by the APC to distract people?
Exactly. It's one of the strategies. It's not just the strategy. It's one of the strategies.
So there is no rift between Siminalayi Fubara and Wike, or it was just drama?
For me, these are strategies of distraction. If Tinubu wants it, he's a master tactician, as people would say. If he wants it to end today, it will end.
All right.
But you know, it's for his political gains. And what are the political gains? One of them is to distract the people. Today, we cannot hold government accountable. Today, a minister of health is saying that, look, about 34 million naira was disbursed out of the over 200 billion naira that was supposed to be a mark for 2025 health allocation. So these are distractions. Lots of corruptions.
Mr. Shedrack, do you think the rift between Siminalayi and the minister of the FCT is a strategic one? Do you think this is the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just trying to distract Nigerians?
Sometimes we try to, elevate people, give them a towering status that they do not possess. They are just advantageous. They take advantage of any loophole, not because they are. So what is master strategy in losing Lagos as you have ruled for over 20 years? What is master strategy in depending on an INEC that will announce you a winner in the midnight when it does not have 25% of the election that pronounce you president? What is the strategy of having less than 5 million people voting you as president, contrary to the 8 point something million we have officially? What is the strategy in lobbying national governors to moving into promoting one party? What is the strategy in not curbing terrorism around you? What's the strategy of borrowing money every other day and have not been able to implement just one thing, raising the price of fuel 10 times over what you criticized before? What's the strategy there? So I hate when people accredited all these things to these people. For Fubara and Wike, that is not what I want to talk about, because it's very shameful. And of course, they let them go ahead and deceive themselves. It was Wike who told us what the president told him in the closed doors, that politics and the betrayal are seamless twins. So for me, it is let them just enjoy what they are cooking, but it has nothing to do with the people. I can assure you that come 2027, the people will give them the Yerima treatment.
All right. The Yerima treatment by Mr. Shedrack there. Moving on to the next story. Heavy security presence was recorded on Tuesday at the Labour Party National Secretariat in Abuja as acting national chairman Senator Nenadi Usman assumed control of the headquarters from the Julius Abure-led faction. Armed police were stationed within and around Utako premises, while banners and billboards bearing Abure's image were replaced with Usman's. Access was restricted as members, supporters, and journalists underwent strict screening. Usman confirmed the takeover, saying police presence followed a court judgment and was coordinated with the Nigerian Labour Congress. She ruled out any confrontation, insisting the Abure faction no longer had legal standing. Sources said the new leadership plans to extend the takeover to secretariats nationwide. The development follows a federal high court ruling recognizing Usman's caretaker committee, a decision later affirmed by INEC. Nigeria, once again, has been ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, placing 142nd out of 182 nations on Transparency International's 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index, where 1 is the cleanest and 182 the most corrupt. Despite slipping 2 places from 140th to in 2024, the country retained its position as the 36th most corrupt nation globally, tied with Cameroon, Guatemala, Guinea, Kyrgyzstan, Papua New Guinea with score of 26 points. The index measures perceived public sector corruption with higher scores indicating cleaner governance. Globally, Denmark topped the rankings as the least corrupt country, while no African nation made the top 10 cleanest list. The report highlights a broader decline in anti-corruption leadership worldwide, urging renewed effort to strengthen accountability, transparency, and civic freedoms to combat corruption effectively. Esther, no African country made this list. What does this tell us? What is Africa not doing that a country like Denmark is doing in terms of corruption?
Honestly, I do not know how Nigeria or Africa keeps retrogressing to the point of not even one country in the whole Africa making it up to the point
top
of
10
cleanest countries. How corrupt infused are we as a country? I mean, we can do better than all of these records. Nigeria is a big country. We're a great nation. We can't keep having bad records over the years. Honestly, we need to adopt measures from other. Maybe we can. The president keeps traveling. Doesn't he ask questions? Doesn't he? This question you asked me what we are doing, it's not even my place to answer. The president, yes, because he keeps on traveling from place to place and he doesn't learn anything from other countries. He just comes back the same way and makes us deteriorate even worse than we are already.
All right, Mr. Shadrach, like I just said, this is even beyond a Nigerian thing. Africa, no country in Africa made top 10. What is happening to the African continent?
That is what happens to you if you don't know who you are, or you try to live on borrowed identity. You're copying somebody else's life. In Africa, we have it in our DNA, in our culture, in our system and values, never to steal. Stealing is something that is very strange and alien to the African culture. You have communities where if you drop something down, you go anywhere, you come pick that thing there.
Then what changed?
That is because we are trying to borrow. Copy things. That's why you see the president roaming up and down. Nothing original about Nigeria anymore. I will refer to Nigeria and not just talk about Africa, because Nigeria, if you reverse the map of Africa, Nigeria is in the trigger. We are the big brothers of Africa.
Please, I want you to clarify, Mr. Shadrach. Yes. So you are saying that we learned stealing from other countries outside Africa.
The reason I say so is because most of the things we find ourselves doing are things that are not originally ours. We just want to borrow the dressing of other people,
including
the way we speak other people, the names of other people, the language of other people. That is the reason why you find them enshrining Chinese language in our primary school curriculum other than Igbo language, Igbira language, Edo language, and all of that. When you begin to steal things from people, you cannot keep it because it's not originally yours. For me, corruption is just systematic that I said it is alien to the African culture and values. That is the reason why we struggle with all of these things. Let us try to live ourselves, live who we are, and stop borrowing. When we do that, we will find ourselves in a path to success.
All right. Mr. Chidi, do you agree with Mr. Shadrach that we stole stealing from other countries outside Africa?
Anyways, all over the world, we have characteristics of what makes a country, right? And then what is corruption in itself? You know, we go outside the country, we travel outside the country. Our president travels outside the country. He's actually a very master tourist, you know. But then you discover that the good ideas, he does not bring them back by implication.
He steals the bad ones back.
I don't know whether he steals, but the good ideas, he does not bring them back. He does not implement them here. It is the negative ones that we begin to see.
Negative ones like, can you cite examples?
Negative ones like not being in control of your security. And I'll give you an example. Look at Transparency International defines corruption. Let me conceptualize this as the abuse of entrusted power for private gain involving dishonest or unethical conduct by individuals in authority. Now, going forward, these are the characteristics of what? Of a corrupt country. Number one, weak institutional integrity. Do we have it? Number two, widespread bribery and extortion. Number three, nepotism. Number four, lack of transparency. Number five, embezzlement and misappropriation, low press freedom and civil liberties, dysfunctional public services, high economic inequality, political instability, influence peddling, and so many of them. The question I want to ask us, Nigerians, are we in that circle? Is it true? Are we pronounced in that circle? The answer, obviously, vehemently, is yes. And it is the government of the day that daily, frequently, continuously, consistently begin to give us that answer, particularly with what is happening currently in the country and the electoral transmission of results. That is the issue. So are we corrupt?
So, still talking about this corruption, I want to, Mr. Shadrach, is this just about the government or the people? Because if we talk about corruption here, it might not just be about the leaders as well. Yes. It might also be about the society. So is it also about us and not just our leaders?
You see, you don't understand the impact, implication of a leader's sin. When a leader he leads the people, because people look up to you as their mentors. They look up to you that anything that comes from their leader is what they should follow.
They should copy.
So that is the reason why, if you analyze corruption in Nigeria 70 years, you break it down to 70 years. Corruption keep widening and deepening in accordance to the weakness of the people that are our leaders. When you have the leaders with less corrupt tendencies, it showed down the line, the people are less corrupt. But if we have a leader that is fantastically corrupt, the institution will be fantastically corrupt as well. So it is a leader that leads. That's the reason why you have a Peter Obi for 8 years ruling Anambra State. Not only was he not indicted by EFCC, his commissioners as well. Because once a leader showed example, it goes down. That's why when you have somebody like Donald Duke as governor of Cross River State, it was the cleanest city in Africa. Then, and the well-dressed people, all the civil servants comported and conducted themselves and accordance with what they see from their leader. Right. So it is a leader that leads the people. That is what.
All right. So, Mr. Chidi, don't you think the society also has a role to play in terms of, having an anti-venom against this corruption issue? Does it have to start from the leaders? For example, taking away corruption, of course, does it have to start from the leaders, or the society has to take a step, influence the leaders so that corruption gets minimized, especially in a country like Nigeria?
Yeah, you mentioned influence the leaders. Sometimes the so-called leaders, they claim to show responsibility, but they're the worst set of people in any society, particularly in Africa. Let me tell you what, the citizenry have their role to play, and the role in the Nigerian context, they are playing their role, which is to influence, and that is the protest you see there. So the citizenry are doing their part. In fact, the reason for 2023 election, the turnout, in fact, people, even the citizens, were appealing to the political officials through INEC to say, look, extend our collection of our PVCs. The people went under the rain. I have videos. Myself, I was among them. Under the rain, were beaten by the rains, and to exercise their civil rights and liberties, to exercise their rights to choose. The people are currently, look at what happened in SARS. People went there to show their responsibility, that they are responsible citizens, and to show their to play their role as very responsible citizens, and they were killed. And here they said nobody was shot, and later the governor of Lagos State, Sowolu, acknowledged there were killings, and till today, look at what is going on now. So the people, the Nigerian masses, are ripe, and they are doing their job. And it's what we need basically is just for the for the elected officials to play their role. If they can play their role,
to be independent.
If they can
you
play
mentioned
their
something yesterday. Was it yesterday when they said INEC should not be independent national electoral? It should be DINEC, Independent National Electoral Commission.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's just take a short break quickly. Okay. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you the latest on some other stories. So stay with us and keep sharing this stream. We'll be right back.
In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Get inside, pack everything outside, pack it.
What's going on here?
Fast. Move things outside.
Oga landlord, what is going on here?
I told you I want to sell this property.
Oga landlord, you just collected rent from me 2 weeks ago. You have not refunded me, and you are packing my things out. Why?
For you, get inside, pack your things outside.
Please, I'm not going anywhere. Don't bring anything out. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh my God!
Oga landlord.
Don't worry. Once I sell this property,
I don't know.
I'm going to refund your money.
What is going on? So where do you expect me to sleep? Where do you expect me to go from here? What will I do now? Where will I even go from here? It's already late.
Have you heard of LJ in Nigeria? Do you know that you can report this case to LJ in Nigeria? Just go to their website now and report to them. Let's go to their website now. This is injustice. We need to report this to them right now.
Okay. Every day, Nigerians witness abuse of power, injustice, harassment, corruption, and threat. But many people do not know where to report it or who will listen to them. At LJ in Nigeria, you can report a violation. Whether you have experienced a violation or witnessed one, you can report any violation. LJ in Nigeria is providing a safe channel for you to report what's wrong. If it affects your rights, your safety, or your community, we want to know about it. Visit www.ljnigeria.org to report a violation or call the number on your screen.
Welcome back. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at some other trends making the round. The United States is deploying 200 troops to Nigeria to train its armed forces in countering Islamist insurgents. An American military official confirmed this on Tuesday. The move comes weeks after President Trump criticized the Nigerian government for what he described as its failure to adequately protect Christians from terrorist attacks. Mr. Shadrach, bringing in 200 troops to Nigeria from the United States to help train our soldiers, hasn't this shown incapacity of our Nigerian army, the Air Force, the Naval Force, and the rest of them to defeat insecurity in Nigeria?
Well,
are they not well trained enough?
We all know that what our country military lacks is not capacity. I've always maintained not intelligence, not training. They are very capable, well trained, have intels. What we just lack is lack of political will to do the needful. I have once proposed that if we are sincere with ourselves and not play politics with people's blood, first thing first, we must sanitize the military command. All the terrorists that was enlisted in every aspect of our security, sector must be fished out. All in the name of non-kinetic, all in the name of repentant Boko Haram, all of them. You can deploy them much later in other areas, Ministry of Agriculture, just find other places to get. After all, it's about the salary. You cannot continue to admit that there are people inside the military sabotaging our effort and you still keep them. It showed complicity. It just showed that the president and the leaders of the country enjoy what is going on and they are cashing out one way or the other, either by getting gain financially or moral booster on promise on re-election campaign, feeding fat on people's blood. So if we are serious, we should just fish out all of those people and sack them from the military, separate them from the military. Secondly, I want to say there is no country in the world that is self-sufficient. So bringing the American troops to come train Nigeria, of course, is welcome, not because we are incapable, like I said. So they can, of course, train. Of course, it also showed an indictment to the country. I have continually maintained, if you bring Boy Scouts, man o' war, our hunters from our villages, give them 2 weeks training, give them the needed weapons, and without any security assistance to the terrorist sabotage, they will flush those people 1 week.
All right.
I continue to maintain that, let alone our military. We are too strong for that.
Mr. Chidi, is this what we really want? Training? Because I've heard lots of Nigerians say what we want is the United States of America sending its military to help us fight. So is this what we actually really want? Training from the United States or assisting us fight these insurgents?
Your first lady just told you a few days ago, I mean, the first lady of Nigeria, our first lady, you know, with due respect, that what we need is more of US strike. She just gave us solutions. So we are beckoning on President Donald Trump to please strike Nigeria, strike every part of this country, strike those who are connected to insecurity. Please, your first lady, what's her name again? Oluremi Tinubu, a pastor, has told us that she's excited that you, Donald Trump, you are doing a very good job. So keep striking. We need more strike. In fact, the 200 people, the military that they are bringing is to train people who will strike Nigeria more. So the first lady, we appreciate you, and we want to appeal to Donald Trump to not only to strike terrorists and terrorist sympathizers and terrorist sponsors, but also to strike the head of those sponsoring terrorists and wherever they find themselves. In addition to that, I want to appeal that if you want insecurity to end today, not only to strike terrorists, but also to strike the laws that bring in government who are sympathetic to terrorists, government who cannot deal decisively with terrorists. And that is what the Electoral Act does. If we keep playing to the gallery, because Donald Trump sees everything, and your first lady is very smart. She's very smart. You saw the kind of acknowledgement she got in the US, you know, as you know, a very respected first lady. And of course, time is coming when the first lady will turn against Tinubu and says, look, go and vote for, because I don't want Donald Trump's problem. Oh, that's what she has already done. So everybody should queue in, and support good governance in this country. If you don't do that, we'll all go down the drain.
All right, so I'm not trying to be insensitive at this point, but do you think what happened to the Venezuelan president should happen in Nigeria?
What happened to the Venezuelan president was that Donald Trump mentioned that he stole the elections.
Okay,
that is one. Did the president Tinubu steal the election? It's left for you to answer. So if you stole the election, then what happened to, I mean, they have the records. And just a few days ago, the FBI mentioned that there is need, I mean, I said the FBI, there was a court in the US that mentioned that there is need for Tinubu's files, you know, to be released. You know, we are going to see what will happen. So these files were explained to us. And the second thing was that for the Venezuelan president to be taken was because he is a drug lord.
Allegedly.
He's a drug lord. He's not more allegedly, because he was, okay. I'm coming from the strength of Donald Trump's opinion for that invasion. I'm standing under Donald Trump's reason for that invasion.
Donald Trump is not a court.
So no, he's not a court, but what he did, I'm standing under what he said. He said he's a drug lord. So go and argue with Donald Trump.
All right.
Meanwhile, the fact is that you ask Omokri said that Tinubu is a drug lord.
All right, but thank you.
You know what drug lord does? They don't give good governance. And if you go to Venezuela, they are suffering. The economy is suffering. That is a product of a drug lord.
Mr.
You understand?
Thank you very much, Mr. Shedrack. I want you to react to what Mr. Chidi just said, especially on the issue of the Venezuelan president, issue with President Donald Trump.
I'll be frank. Okay, I'll speak both for myself from the bottom of my heart, and then I'll speak on behalf of public opinion.
Okay.
First, for myself, when Maduro was picked up by Donald Trump, I just felt it should happen to Nigeria. That is me speaking. That is what is in my heart. And then whether that appeals to the people, I will say yes, on one reason. We have similarities between Venezuela and Nigeria. Great similarities. One, someone who went to Chicago came up with facts that Tinubu is a drug lord. Reno Mockery was eventually bought over and today is an ambassador nominee.
And let's not forget, he also said he has withdrawn whatever.
What do you mean by withdraw?
And he said because he did his research and it's not true.
Femi Fani-Kayode has publicly written on that. Our most respected jurists, late Ganifa Oyemi, have many articles on Tinubu, facts on Tinubu, court cases on Tinubu. So the similarities are there. Some people who rule like mafians, they are there. So showing those and of course you saw that when Maduro was picked up, people, Venezuela all over the world rejoiced. The question is, will Nigeria rejoice if Tinubu is picked up? Is yes, because we saw all continuous both in Lagos, here in Abuja, how people protested. You cannot have over 100 million people registered voters and you have less than 5 million voting for a president and you think he's a popular candidate. That is a public protest against the personality of that individual. All right. And of course, everything about our president is fake. Everything is questionable.
Well, that is very strong and emotional.
Yes,
that is very strong and emotional.
Listen, his name has been a subject of controversy. His name is there in court file. His personality, where he comes from, state, whether Lagos or Osun, under question. His certificates have always been under question. His age, how he's 10 years older than his daughter, under question. Everything about him is under question. So what are you talking about? It shows that his identity is shrouded in secrecy. And of course, up to today, we are still battling somebody lobbying America to close files and all of that. It's with our president. This is our public domain. It is not something that somebody should come here and pretend over it. So what are we talking about? And of course, if America is not doing that, of course, America will always look at what is good for them for business. It is about market.
Mr. Chidi, sorry, you wanted to add something quickly.
Yeah, I wanted to also add that this is an interesting time. We're living in an interesting time where we have two things. You know, we will have the real president of Nigeria that people voted for by public opinion, the person of Mr. Peter Obi, and the fake one.
Let's agree to your opinion.
By people's public opinion, on the street.
Because
we can go live down to the street and ask people who they voted for. Please, we can do that. So I say by people's public opinion, they will have two presidents. The real president in the person that people voted for, in the person of Mr. Peter Obi, and the fake president.
But Peter Obi came third position. So how can he be the people's president?
Who made him third? How did he come third? So let's leave that. Let's leave how he came third, please. Let's not go there. But
I wonder because he said it's the people's opinion.
The people's opinion.
I want to disagree with that because you are not the people. You are Mr. Chidi as a person.
It is the voice on the streets. We have contact with the people. We meet the people. You know, we know what's happening in the streets. If you want to know what's happening in the street, take this camera and go to the street. Do your opinion pool. Do your opinion pool very quickly. So that's one. Secondly, we have two currencies. Two presidents, the original and the fake. We have two currencies. The fake currency.
Is there a fake currency?
There's a fake currency. The fake currency was the one that CBN president under.
How is it a fake currency? It's a legal tender. Both are legal tender. In the United States of America, we still have old dollar notes that are still recognized as legal tender.
No, Chidi is just saying everything about this administration is double.
Exactly.
So leading us into a lot of.
So it might not be fake and original. It might just be one.
We have two tax law. The one currently implemented by the tax
and the other one
gazetted.
Yeah, exactly.
We have two. We have budget, and was that we're operating in 3 budgets in this country. So everything is, you can see what happened in the Electoral Amendment Bill 2. So everything about this country is fake. A lot of things, controversy. Most of the things are fake.
All right, Mr. Shedra, Esther, you've been quiet a little. Do you think everything in Nigeria is fake?
Obviously, there is lack of transparency. Everything is vague. We don't get to see anything clearly. If you ask me, everything is not shown on the platter.
There's
always undertone. There's always I mean, we can see for ourselves that it's really fake.
All right. Thank you very much, Esther.
And I want to quickly add that, please. This is to the CLOs, the civil society organizations, the CSOs and CLOs and what have you, civil liberties and co. Please, and the opposition, the ADC, we are appealing to you to write a formal letter to President Donald Trump
on the issue of electoral transmission of results, real time, from EC8A, from the polling unit to what? To the IREV server. All the names of all those who directly or indirectly are part of the reason why the 2027 election will be rigged in advance should be forwarded to the White House. The White House has a very beautiful communication channel with Nigeria. This is the best time to do it.
Mr.
And I also appeal to us that there is no better time.
Putting Nigerian sovereignty at risk if we are asking Donald Trump to do everything for us.
If we have somebody whose wife, beautiful wife, that we respect and Donald Trump respects so much, saying that her husband needs help, that the bombing that happened in Nigeria is a welcome development. So you should please bomb Nigeria with accountability such that Nigeria can go become a nation to be proud of. Let me tell you why Nigeria is important.
The reason why, Mr. Chidi, there's no time.
There's no time. But wait,
I want Mr. Shadrack to just conclude, whatever is going on right now. Mr. Shadrack, don't you think our sovereignty? I asked Mr. Chidi this question. Don't you think our sovereignty is at risk if we allow Donald Trump do everything for us? Donald Trump is going to be the one to help us in terms of insecurity. Donald Trump should come and help us in terms of economy. Donald Trump should come and help us pick up corruption, corrupt leaders should come and help. Don't you think our sovereignty, our independence is at risk if we let Donald Trump do all this for us?
Two things. First, straightforward answer. Of course, you're right. It is very wrong for us to want America to come help us, marry a wife for us, and help us impregnate our wives and bring babies. It's a very, very, very terrible situation that we find ourselves. But the opposite of that is actually calling for revolution, and that is what you don't want to wish, because it will be very devastating. If America wants to do that, they'll do that with control. But if Nigeria lost it to the citizens and they get it to their neck, I can tell you the revolution that will come, it will consume almost everybody. And that is not a place we want to find ourselves, but we are very, very close to that place because we are on the precipice right now. And I can tell you for free that whatever expression we are, is not because we love one P2B or Atiku Abubakar. Far from it. What we just want, we don't want to see that people demarketing Nigeria. Shameful that INEC official will parade mutilated results in 21st century as our result.
All right, thank you.
Tinubu can win. Let him do his politics.
Thank you.
Have everybody by side, but let him win through a transparent manner. That is
okay. In addition to what,
Mr. Chidi,
in addition, we're live, please. In addition, we have time, please.
We don't.
The political elites have time to take away our collective destinies, and we should have time to talk about it. Very importantly,
please,
is the fact. Very importantly, is the fact that if the consequence of if we had a Tinubu, it's not about him. I mean, what does it? If we have a Tinubu administration that provides safety nets for the people, a Tinubu administration that will not leave coastal highways where nobody, care about so much, and we begin to build coastal highways instead of addressing the bad economic situation, addressing the bad road, because you can't travel from one point of the country. Look at Benue Road, look at Nasarawa Road, look at the highways. We cannot even fly. If we have a government of Tinubu that does what people want, that's people oriented, nobody will talk about Donald Trump.
Thank
you. And the danger is that if Nigeria is not well governed, if it's not well governed, it will affect the global market.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chidi. We respect time constraints here. We have limitations, when it comes to time here. We don't joke with time, but I appreciate each and every one of us. Mr. Chidi, first of all, I appreciate you. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Shadrack, thank you for your honesty too as well.
Thank you very much.
Esther, we appreciate your opinions on this matters.
Thank you.
All right, so to our viewers and listeners out there, make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe at LJE News on all social media platforms to stay in the loop and join the conversation ahead of our next show. My name is Omotola Adeleke. See you next time. Bye for now.